What is the point of being optimistic? I will be the complete opposite of optimism all day, every day, and do things like talk like this and walk like that. No, I will be optimistic. I know that by now you are tired of hearing the definition of optimism. But guess what? I'm going to tell you anyways. Basically, what this word means is being positive. Most important question of the day. What am I eating for dinner? Wrong question. Most important question of the day. What are my roots of optimism? My first root is Skylar Diggins. She has inspired me to become a female basketball player, which makes me want to be optimistic because I'm doing something that I love. She has also went through 4 years of college and is doing something that way back when people thought only men could do. Play ball. The next root is my best friend. One day I was all down the dumps when my best friend came up to me and told me a joke about floppy pizza. This made me want to be optimistic because it cheered me up and let me know that I was not alone. My best friend also pushes me and lets me know I can do anything I put my mind to. My next root is my mom, Miss Tasha Thomas. One day, I was thinking about going to school and being negative when my mom came up to me and told me, "We can eat moles for dinner." This made me want to be optimistic because who can frown when they're eating moles for dinner? My last root is math. Math makes me want to be optimistic because it doesn't give me much trouble and it helps me to problem solve and win at games like soccer and riddles. Why are these my roots of optimism? Because I know that if I have all of these things with them beside me, there is no point in being negative when I have them all to drive me in the right direction. What are your roots of optimism?
There are 2 types of people in this world, optimistic people and pessimistic people. The optimistic people seek for the positive in every situation. These people are happy, outgoing, and energetic. The pessimistic people, on the other hand, are stuck on the chains of negativity and fail to be positive. I get my roots in optimism from my dad, my mom, and my great-grandpa. My dad helps me be an optimistic person by looking on the bright side of situation. Even though my dad is in chemotherapy and has had 5 surgeries, he is still optimistic, although the therapies make him very weak, fatigued, and tired. My mom helps me be an optimistic person by looking on the bright side. Before and after my brain surgery, she told me stories, colored with me, and most importantly, told me that everything is going to be okay because God is with me. My brain surgery was successful because of God, great doctors, and my mom's optimism. Thanks to them, I am able to speak to you today. When we are going through rough times, she puts on a smile and has a good attitude. Another example of optimism is my great-grandpa. When he was around 95, he got a cane as a gift, but at first sight, he exclaimed, "No way am I going to be using that yet." Now that he's 99, he uses it occasionally, yet he always has a smile on his face. By the way, he's turning 100 this May. In conclusion, it is very important to be an optimistic person no matter what situation you are in, because life will always bring its ups and downs. If you're a positive person, people like being around you. Who knows, you could be a source of optimism for someone else like my family is for me. A research from Google shows that it takes only 26 muscles to smile and 62 to frown. So smile, my friends, and be optimistic.
Optimism, described by Webster's dictionary, means to think positive, be hopeful, or just be plain happy. Optimism also makes you believe that you can accomplish anything. I'm optimistic all the time, but most of you might ask me, where does my optimism come from? Not only does it come from the people around me, but the things that have happened to me in my life. In the words of Walt Disney, I've always looked on the optimistic side of life, but I am realistic enough to know life is a complex matter. When I was younger, and still now, I love to play with Legos. When I got my first Lego set, my grandpa said I couldn't build it. So I promised him I would. That turned out to be a pretty hard promise to keep. Every time I thought I had it right, it wasn't. So I did what any other 6-year-old would do, and I stepped on it. My parents said there was no such thing as a bad idea. Boy, were they wrong. But I rebuilt it the right way, and when I showed my grandpa, he couldn't believe it. And from that day on, I've become a Lego VIP. Just recently, my church's former pastor, Reverend Nathaniel Jackson, passed. I kind of counted him as my great-grandpa, so it hit me the hardest. But my mom, grandma, and I stayed optimistic enough to realize that he's in a better place. Same thing with Michael Jackson. When his grandparents died right in the middle of his music career, he said he didn't feel like doing anything. But he pushed through the pain and is now one of the most famous music artists in history. Those are my roots in optimism, the things that have happened to me, my family, and even Michael Jackson. In the words of Winston Churchill, for myself, I am an optimist. There is not much use of anything else. Thank you.